So why did you decide to get the course in the first place? There's so many courses out there teaching all these different ways to generate an income online. Why did you go with mine among all those?
Yeah. Well, you did have great marketing because you had researched your ideal customer, which is something you teach people to do on their own. But it's not just about researching an ideal customer so you can sell something. It's actually a real person who has a real problem, and that was actually my real problem. I have in my early 20s, because I'm in my early 30s now. In my early 20s, I remember about $2,500 and then probably $7,000 on coaching.
Hmm.
And it was for consulting and then for freelancing in this area of work. And so something very specific that stood out with your ad, which was really kind of like a case study. I I felt like it was my story was that not everyone is wired to have their own business. I believe this is what it covered.
Yep.
And so you can have independence without having your own business. And the way to do it is to get a highly freed up job where you are remote and then you learn a very valuable skill set. And I always kind of had that in corporate. Like I had my own career. I wasn't married to one company. So I had moved around a bit, but I never thought about online work being remote, and that really spoke to me. And also the fact that you were looking for case studies, I couldn't believe how cheap this was because I have spent so much money in the past and gotten so little out of stuff. So I just thought, okay, I can actually see where this connects to an income at the end versus somebody training you and being like, all right, now go find your own clients.
Hmm.
I was like, oh, I can see where this goes. You can do this training, you have a skill set, then you can apply for a job and get a job where somebody's reliably paying you. And to me, that just checked the boxes that made sense. So that's why I got your course. It made sense.
Yep.
And I wasn't an uneducated shopper, and it was worth it. Very good course. Yep. Not a waste of my time, not a waste of my money either. I actually had less money than usual,
Hmm.
and I was surprised that I could afford it. So I felt like it was a an opportunity that God had provided me just because I've worked my butt off and not gotten so far. So I'm super excited about this. This is the first time that I feel like I know exactly what I'm doing and I can make a career of this. So yeah, it's amazing. Thank you.
That's awesome, man. It's really good to hear that. That's the whole point of doing this. So thank you for that. Now, once you got into the course, you started going through the lessons. It's a weekly lesson. What were your thoughts? Like, what did you think about the course itself once you got in, once you went through it?
I think you're good at teaching. One, I liked the fact that you started out with what you have to do here is what no one else is willing to do. And that was with what it started out with. And I actually went to medical school. It wasn't for me. And something I learned from medical school, the way I retain information, I think it works for a lot of people, is handwrite notes on lectures and then type them. And I would do that for tests, like big tests. And so
Hmm.
that's what I did with yours. You're like go through this multiple times. It's like, okay, I know how to study this and like internalize it. It's like, all right, cool. I know how to internalize this. So I hand wrote everything you said and then I typed up everything that you said. And that was how I would process each lesson. And then when it became more hands-on, I did more hands-on stuff. But I would say for anyone who's looking at doing this, that it does start out lecture based and it's really important to study hard in the very beginning because it's important to internalize that because then you can just completely focus on something else and you have a baseline understanding of what the point of all of this is. And when I first started doing the technical aspects of media buying, I thought, this is so much information, I'll never get it. But even, putting in all that work on the front end, I probably worked 125% effort, like really hard in the beginning. And then it actually became quite a bit easier because once I knew how to do Facebook ads and learn those principles, then they kind of just applied to the other platforms. So it wasn't half as
Yes,
hard to pick up the others. Yeah.
100%. And that's one of the reasons why I insist, and I always re-emphasize, especially in the first lesson, I talk about this a lot, which is just watch it multiple times. Take as many notes as you can because there's a lot of, especially in the beginning, the technical side of it, it takes repetition, just like any skill. But if you go through that repetition in the beginning, then eventually it becomes easy. And it's also why I divided the course into two parts. Like the first 3 months is just focus 100% on learning and on acquiring the skill. And then the second 3 months, focus 100% on looking for a job. Which brings me to the next question, which is you're one of the few students that I have that has already reached the end of the program. You got a job. Congrats on that.
Thanks.
Do you remember how much time it took you since you joined the course until you got the final interview and got the notice that you were getting a job?
I started the course in September of last year,
Hmm.
and now it is mid-March. So
So it was
October, I
about,
think it's 7 months.
yeah, 6, 7 months, yeah. So
I
the
don't think that the 26 weeks is up. It may be.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
So
roughly that time.
I'm actually amazed because I never thought I would be a person who would actually within the time frame get a job, but here we are. So, yep.
That's awesome, man. What would you say to those people that are just starting the course, or even some people that are just about to get it, and they also obviously have the same goal as anyone that joins the course to get the job? What advice would you give them?
Um, if this work is right for you, the lifestyle is right for you, then this course can help you get there. It can get you there as long as you do what is asked of you in the course. And there are plenty of courses out there that don't actually get you from the beginning of learning something new to actually earning an income. There are plenty of courses that don't do that. So if the lifestyle is right for you and you're willing to do what is asked of you, which isn't terrible, it is effort, it's consistent effort, but it isn't terrible. And you're just willing to work hard, then you can make a living with this lifestyle. Yep.
Awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, some people are looking into the course. They've seen my video, but they're a little bit skeptical. Some people might even think it's a scam because it sounds too good to be true. Some people are just on the fence. What would you say to those people since you've already gone through everything?
A scam is when somebody takes your money and then they don't give what they say that they're going to give you. So objectively, this is not a scam because you do get a 26-week course, and it might surprise you that the whole course is not you studying lectures. So it's not impossible. And there is actually an opportunity for you to invest further if you want to actually get more mentorship. So no one's leaving you without opportunities, and the path is there. So that's not a scam. And then a lot of times you'll see scammy sorts of advertisements for 5, 6 figure incomes, and that's also not a scam because you can go on LinkedIn or any other website application platform now and see that. Just search for media buyer right now, and you can see that if you can get this job, then you can earn a publicly disclosed 5 to 6 figure income doing
Yep.
this work. So
Yep.
it's all about learning how to do this work. And then, really, with the course, becoming confident enough in yourself that you can do it.
Of
And then
course.
somebody believes you can, and then you get a job. I've applied to plenty of jobs where they asked for 2, 3 years of experience. And I try not to apply to ones that explicitly said, we want this. But I would apply to some, and I honestly don't remember the listing for this job I just got. They took it down before I had the interview.
Yeah.
But it was probably one that said they wanted 2 plus years of experience, and I have 7 months.
Yeah,
So,
that's a really good point. Because it's, a lot of these requirements, as long as you can come in and you know how to sell yourself, they forget about a lot of that stuff. And you're a really good example of that.
Well,
So yeah,
thanks.
awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, you're welcome.